world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final edition of the Josh Ho Show for this season. I'm your host, Dave Sheets. Along with me is the head coach of the Massillon Tigers, Josh Hose. We would like to once again thank our season-long sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling of Massillon. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Good to be here for the last one.
Well, Coach, your Tigers saw their season come to an end this past Saturday night. More on that in a minute. The Tigers finished 14-10 overall. First, the good news. We go back to last Wednesday. Home game, first tournament game against Hudson, and he came away with a win.
Yeah, so I think we were excited. Obviously we knew it was a tough draw because Hudson we had lost to, beaten earlier in the month here, about almost exactly a month ago, mid-January, in an overtime game. We had to come back, and our kids fought like crazy. I think we were down 9 with 3 minutes left, and then cut that to like 5 with about 30 seconds left. Some guys made some big plays. Chris, who's going to be coming on here in a little bit, had a huge game. I think it was 28 points, 12 rebounds. It just had monster play after monster play for us. So we knew that was going to be a battle. And when we did the draw, I think I shared with you last week, we kind of had a feeling like it was probably going to be Boardman. If not Boardman, Hudson or Perry probably jump on our line just because of the games we have with those teams. So we knew it was going to be a tough battle. And it was, honestly, we went in that game. Lack of experience showed. They're a little bit more of a senior oriented team, and with our youth and experience, we went in there and the kids didn't say they were nervous, but you could see it in their faces, a little hesitant, a little bit bigger eyes. Just didn't make some plays that we normally make, and that thing came down to the wire. But credit to our kids is that they made some big foul shots down the stretch. I think Jadis was 5 of 6 at the line. Eli hit some big ones down the stretch and closed that one out. And it was just kind of cool to see guys making plays. Chris hit a big 3, late in the game, right in front of our bench. It was a spark we needed because they were leading at the time. And so it was fun for them to get that tournament experience because I think when we talked about it, I think 5 of our top 8 guys that were in the rotation, it was their first tournament game. And it is different. It is different when you're playing with something on the line versus just a Tuesday night in middle of January or December when it matters, but it's not end of the season stakes on the line. So definitely was a good win for our guys to get that first tournament win under their belt.
So with that win, then you moved to a game Saturday night at Akron-Hoban. Hoban's had a great season. You knew it was going to be a challenge, and unfortunately, didn't go so well.
No, it did not. And I don't think, I told our guys after the game, I don't think too many teams in Northeast Ohio would have beat them that night. They shot it extremely well. I think they were 11 of 22 on threes at the half. And in our scouting and going through their stats, some of their guys were struggling to shoot the 3, but they were more drive oriented. So we were like, okay, let's try to take away their drives and make them shoot some outside stuff. And one kid just went off, and he had the game of his life. He really shot it well. It happens sometimes in scouting. I'm sure we've had games where teams have said, "Hey, let this guy, do this," because the tendencies, and they played opposite of that. But they got up on us early, and it was just kind of like we tried to fight back into it, and they just kept hitting us with those threes left and right, and it's like those are just momentum plays, and they're tough at home, and they're 20-3 right now. They've only lost to some really good teams, and they played a really tough schedule. So we knew that was going to be a tough one. Didn't necessarily jump on them in the seeding. It was more of a selective thing with if we could get through that game. The bottom half of that bracket was some teams we were familiar with. So it was kind of a pick your poison thing, because I think when we were looking at the brackets, it was go to Hoban, go to Menor, or go to Jackson in that next round. And none of those are easy wins, or easy games. So you pick one and go with it. And sometimes you scout a team and you look at some of the film and different things, and they play differently in that particular game. So credit to Hoban they really played a good game. Our kids played hard, and we didn't have our best game, but it's hard when you got a team. I've been on both ends of that one. It's hard when you got a team shooting the ball like that to overcome. All the mistakes are magnified. And just every time you make we come down and make a 2, and they come back and hit a 3. It's just demoralizing. And like I said, I give our kids a lot of credit, though. They fought and kept playing right to the end.
So when it comes to the tournament, it's a loss and the season's over, just like that. Mm-hmm. So describe for us kind of the mood in the locker room afterwards, and maybe the message you shared with your players.
Those are always tough talks because you always think you're going to win. You always had that mindset of like, I think we do this right and this right, we win this game, and so you go in there and honestly the kids are sad. And I think it's multi things. The season's over. We didn't go out with our, I don't want to say best effort because we played well. We just didn't play as well as Hoban did. Mm-hmm. But our message was pretty much to the guys like, hey, it was a great season. We had a 10-4 in our last 14 games. Went through a lot of different changes within the makeup of our team. Different guys leaving the team, and because I think the cool thing was to see our guys get closer and kind of more resilient through all that. And we kept saying the circle gets smaller, gets stronger, type thing. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of some of the message there. We stressed to the seniors how much they've been to the program. They've had a good run. I think the 4 years they've been here, we were 19 wins, 15, 10, and 14 wins. So they've had a good stretch here overall. Mm-hmm. Experience-wise, they've been through the COVID stuff, all that. They just that's their freshman year. It's hard to believe that's that long ago, but mm-hmm. It's been a long run for them and what they meant to the program. Guys like Gabe Knight, who was a captain for us and just had great leadership qualities. The bench brothers that he talked about. Drew Stitt was a great leader for us all year. Eli obviously led us in so many ways on the court and off the court, and Calix Collins, who had a great year for us in many ways, and missed some games mid-season, but came back and had a really great game, I think, against New Philly. And so just different things. We celebrated some of those accomplishments, and then we talked to the young guys about the future. If we can stick together and these guys can continue to work and put some time in the off season. That good things can happen, but and the last thing we just shared with the guys is just it's bigger than basketball. Like we really talked about down the road. Like hopefully, the loss stings now, it fades, but the memories will stay. The friendships, that's the fun part of playing sports in high school, mm-hmm. And that you guys move on and are better dads, husbands, employees. Sons, whatever it is, like that you can draw on some of the things that we've learned through the process, just of practice and all the workouts and the games and the successes and failures. That really is the value of playing sports, is that you learn so much about yourself and development and character.
Mm-hmm. All right, in a moment we'll meet a Tiger player, but first this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Thanks to Reliable Heating and Cooling, and welcome back to the Josh Ho Show. Our Tiger player joining us this week is sophomore guard Chris Knight. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Chris, tell us, how old were you when you first learned the game of basketball, and do you remember who taught the game to you?
I was around 3 years old when I started learning the game of basketball, and I've had many different mentors in my life that helped me learn and help me succeed in that role of playing the game.
As you look back at this season, unfortunately, it came to an end. In what areas do you feel you improved your game the most?
I feel like I've improved my defense a lot. Last year, I was like the shooter on the team, so now I wanted to expand my game more with the defensive end.
And then as we head into the off season now, what parts of the game do you want to work on more?
Mainly my ball handling, trying to get open and create for myself and for other teammates. And I want to also gain more on the defensive end too.
We talked a little bit with Coach about the impact that the seniors have. How would you describe your relationship with the senior players and how you'll miss them?
I'm going to miss them a lot. They taught me a lot throughout the year, leadership-wise, and everything that they knew coming up from freshman and their sophomore years, and they really helped me a lot this year.
Now, next year, of course, you'll be a junior, but you'll also be considered a leader on this team. What kind of responsibilities are involved with that as far as being a leader?
You know, coming in every day, making sure I put in the work. You know, freshmen coming up, make sure they see me being a great leader, trying to do the most.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. We want to thank Chris for joining us on the program this week. We'll have more with Coach Josh Hose after this timeout.
Hello, and welcome to the Stark County Humane Society. Today we're going to give you a few pointers when considering adopting a new furry friend. All animals here at the Stark County Humane Society are spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, dewormed, and if old enough, heartworm tested for our canine friends. Adopters will receive a free exam within 2 weeks of adoption at local veterinarian hospitals. We encourage all adopters to take full advantage of this. A one-time adoption fee is required for your new furry friend. When you adopt, you get an awesome adoption packet that includes treats for your new fur baby and savings for you. But this is not where the cost of adoption stops. Did you know the average cost of an animal like a new puppy or kitten can cost up to $500 annually? This includes annual veterinarian visits, preventative care, and everyday supplies like crate, litter, food, toys. But I hope this doesn't scare you away. Adopting an animal is a huge responsibility and a commitment. Please take the time to consider the cost of adopting a new pet into your family today. I hope to see you soon at the Stark County Humane Society. Please visit our website or visit us on social media for more information.
And welcome back to the Josh Hose Show. As Coach rejoins us, we spoke with sophomore guard Chris Knight in our last segment, Coach. Tell us more about Chris and how he impacted the team this season.
Well, Chris had a great year for us. You know, that big jump from, like, last year came on the scene late in the year. I think in our last 5 games, he was our third leading scorer. And if you just took that snapshot of those 5 games last year. So we knew, you know, he had a great freshman JV year last year and kind of came onto the scene late for us, like I said, at the varsity level. But he really had some good minutes. But, you know, unscouted, you know, small role, go in and shoot a couple shots and, you know, come in and out. And so our challenge with Chris was like to be a more complete player because he really has the ability to do many things on the court, not just score the basketball or shoot the ball. So he really bought into the defensive end of the court and, you know, trying to get better there, and knew that was an area that you know, that next step to become that more complete player was playing a little bit more attentive on the defensive end. And Chris just, I mean, I can't say enough about what he did this year for us. You know, to offset Eli. You know, Eli was our, you know, kind of our leading scorer and creator, but Chris was that complementary piece that you know, when he got it going, I think he had multiple games of 25+ points. He had a huge game against Glen Oak, a huge game we talked about against Hudson, and then there's many other games. I think he led us in scoring at Ashland as well when Eli was had some foul trouble. So, I mean, he just had that great complementary, you know, I don't want to say Batman and Robin, but, you know, yin and yang type thing with Eli where it's like, okay, your turn, my turn, let's help each other out. And so to be a sophomore playing your first varsity, you know, minutes, really a major role, to go out there and have, I think he averaged 13, 14 points a game for us, you know, 4 or 5 rebounds. He did so many great things for us. And the great thing about Chris, he's only going to get better. And you don't have to worry about anything outside of basketball. He's every teacher loves him. You know, he's you know, people from middle school. Oh, Chris Knight's one of my favorite kids I've ever had in class. He's great in the community, great in the classroom, works hard. You know, just he's been raised the right way. His parents have done a great job with him. It's definitely a blessing to our program.
So the end of the season marks the end of the run with another senior group. Talk about the group in general and kind of your message to them as they depart.
Well, we talked a little bit about that just after the game about you know, those 4 seniors and Dylan, our manager, you know, that 5th senior. I think the big thing with them is I gave them the credit of sticking it out. You know, there's 17, I think, initially with their freshman class, 16 guys or something like that, because Dylan was our manager. I think there were 16 guys that were on that freshman team that year, and it just has dwindled. And that's the natural progression of sports. You know, you just guys find other interests, or they just can't figure it out, or don't stick with it. And to stick through. It's not always easy. It's not always glorifying it. You're getting all the accolades and everything, and like we said, there's a guy like Gabe who, so valuable to our team, but didn't necessarily play a major minute role for us. But I think guys like Gabe I value so much because the fact that they understand that they're still an important part of this team, even though they're not like a leading scorer or playing 20 minutes a night. And I think our seniors really did a good job, even changing roles from last year to this year. Drew and Calix, playing 20 minutes a night last year, playing less this year at times, and just kind of accepting that and thriving in that, and switching their mindset to being a leader on the bench and in the locker room. And then, Eli just taking those major steps. And I think Eli, the cool thing with him, I tell people all the time, he's our 9th leading scorer on the JV team as a sophomore. He played freshman as a freshman, sophomore or JV as a sophomore, and then took a big jump to varsity the next year, and then made a major leap this year he was in considerations for Player of the Year talks in our district meetings, and it's just amazing to me to see that level of progression. Now, it helps he's grown a lot physically,
right.
but also he works on his game a lot in the off season and stayed humble and just trusted the process. That, you hear everybody talk about the process. That was definitely Eli's secret to success, is just keep working, just keep showing up, and he just keeps getting better and better.
The tournament will continue next couple of weeks, and then you head into the off season. So what does the schedule look like? What does the amount of time you have with the kids between now and next fall, so to speak? What's that schedule look like?
Well, we take some time off, state mandated 30 days. We usually get back in the gym right after spring break. That time's up to be about 30 days, and start some workouts. Definitely going to be getting back in the weight rooms. You got guys that, as the season wanes on, you kind of wane that out a little bit, because we're playing 3 games in a week and some of that stuff. So I want to get back in and get some weight room time in with these guys. Now, a lot of them had the class, which helps, but working on footwork, ball handling, shooting. A lot of our guys are doing AAU in the off season, spring here. So kind of balancing that and figuring out the schedule with their practices and their games. But usually we go 2-3 days a week in the spring, and, pick it up a little bit before we get into the summertime. In the summertime, summer league here, we do some open gyms. I was talking to Coach Von Kennel yesterday from Dover, and he usually have something in the summer, so we may go down there. Just try to get our guys playing basketball a lot and get them in some other environments where they're playing, different teams and whatnot. So, I mean, it's a busy schedule. I was just telling somebody the other day, I said, teachers having the summer off, when you coach, it's not like that. And so we get the month of, after the season, the month of August off. And then, we're in the gym a lot, but it's a fun thing to do. You get to be in the gym. So our guys, they're fun to be around, and, it's enjoyable. So, and then getting to the fall, and before we know it, it's going to be September. We'll be here and getting ready for the next season, and kind of doing the same thing, some open gyms, some conditioning, and a lot of basketball shooting and ball handling.
I know for you and your staff, it's got to be maybe a little more exciting in the fact that you have so many guys who are going to come back next year who spent a lot of time on the floor for you this year. They're going to be another year older, another year wiser.
Yeah, it does make a good difference. And just like I said, just how does that look moving forward? And replacing an Eli, production-wise, it's we always say you can't do one guy's not going to step in there. It's got to be each guy picking up a little bit, and I think we have the guys that can do that. But it definitely hopefully drawing that experience. And like I said, I think the biggest piece is making sure they stay together. Like that's always that tough equation of guys find other interests or. Knock on wood, everybody stays healthy through the off season and in their fall sports and all that. But it is a fun idea that if on paper, if all this works together, you got a nice core group coming back that knows how to play basketball. Knows our system, knows each other really well, and should be able to take a next step type thing next year.
And finally, let's talk a little bit about the schedule next year. Okay. You've been here several years now. You kind of have a grip on the schedule. You've set it up the way you like it. Any major tweaks that you can kind of see ahead of time?
Well, I mean, we just started. It's funny because the emails just started coming in. Everybody's kind of at that point of the season where, like, hey, let's look at this game next year. Let's look at this date. One major change is we're going to play McKinley later in the year. they wanted to go, I think the Friday before New Year's, and we are not able to do that this year because we've always done the New Year's Eve the last 3 years with them. But we're going to go over to Indiana and play in the Hoosiers gym next year.
Nice.
So that's a week between Christmas and New Year's,
Nice.
like December 27th. We're going to go over and play a game over there. And kind of a fun trip.
Yes.
Us and Canal Fulton Northwest are going to go and play over there and spend the night. And
Nice.
So with that quick turnaround, like to come back and try to play and get ready for a game with McKinley was going to be too much. So that's one change there. And then this year we did the Rocket Mortgage thing with Barberton. So that this next year we'll do the Hoosiers gym. Looking for some experiences with our guys to do and just different things. And I look at our schedule as I look through it, like I think it could be very similar to this year as far as like teams. Dates may change, obviously. You usually have about 12 to 13 teams that we play on a regular basis, and then some are through the classics and different things are different changes. But without being in a league, you stay adaptable, and you're always looking for teams to add and teams to take away, and definitely those long road trips or something. If we could get rid of some of those, I think the one week we went out to, the beginning of the year we were out in the Youngstown, Warren area, a couple times, and it's like, man, those are long bus rides. So, but yeah, so I think you'll see a very similar flavor to our schedule as far as next year.
Will we be hosting the Hardwood Classic again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are, and we're working on an opponent for that one. I think they have 7 games set up for that one, and Scott just called me the other day, and he's throwing some ideas out there. Teams are trying to get involved, and they do a good job, so we're excited to be able to host that again.
Excellent. Well, Josh, we appreciate your time all season. Congratulations, it was a great year, and we look forward to next season as well.
Appreciate you guys doing this for us all year.
You bet. We want to thank Reliable Heating and Cooling of Massillon being our sponsor all season long. For sophomore guard Chris Knight, for Coach Hose, I want to thank you for watching. I'm Dave Sheets, and as always, go Tigers.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our Career Technical Education Department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.
Around here, we like to cheer for the local team, and MCTV is here to connect you to the game. MCTV provides reliable, high-speed internet and Wi-Fi. From checking scores online, to streaming games or watching replays, or even playing the game yourself, we've got the speed you need. Call today to add or upgrade internet service. We're connecting what matters most. MCTV. We go the extra smile.